everyone, I'm so happy you're here today. We're going to be making this cute card. These were my swaps for my Glitter Queens team, and this was my submission to our swap for this month for a new catalog. But this is the front of the card, and then you open it up, and then that's the inside. Isn't it pretty? So these were all going to be sent out because they're all done, but I'm going to make one with you today. Hi Stampers, this is Dawn, and today we're going to make my Glitter Queen swap card. These are using the brand new items from the January through June mini catalog, and this is how the card opens up. So it's like a gatefold. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I want to show you where all these items are in this brand new catalog. This is the January through June mini catalog, which we'll start calling the JJ mini catalog. So that stands for January through June. And all the items that I'm using on today's card are on page 22. I'm so happy to be able to open this catalog with you. So I'm using this bundle right here, and it's the Crane of Fortune and then the Symbols of Fortune designer paper, which I got the paper over here. I'll show you that up close because it never looks the same as it does in person, the way it looks in the catalog. It's even better in person. And then I also want to remind you, this is the celebration time. So this starting January 4th through the February 28th is celebration. So anytime you spend $50 or more from that mini catalog or the annual catalog, you get to pick something for free out of this mini brochure. Okay, and it's for every $50. So every $50 increment before shipping and tax, you'll get to pick something out of here. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you the stamp set and the die. Here's the Crane of Fortune, and it's so beautiful. I didn't even actually stamp these images. I stamped the greeting, which is right here, sending 1,000 well wishes on your special day. And I'm going to show you exactly what we did for that. And then here's the bundle with the dies, Good Fortune. And then this is the die that I used to cut out with the designer paper. Let me show you that now. So now this is the Symbols of Fortune designer paper. Isn't that beautiful? So now this is the flower, the little cluster of flowers that I cut out. So this is what I did for the die. So I didn't stamp it. I just cut it out from the designer paper. Super easy, and it's beautiful. So this is one piece, and then the other side. So remember, our 12 by 12 paper is always double-sided, typically, unless it's like the gold foil sheet or the copper. And then this is the other piece that I use for the front of the card. And this is specialty paper, so that means it's the gold foil is on there, meaning it's the specialty. And this is another piece. Beautiful. So pretty, that gold. Love it. And then this is another die that's in this die collection. You can see that here. So that's where that kind of ties in with the designer paper. I don't know if it actually cuts it out, but I haven't tried it yet, but we can play with that another time. So then here's the other side. That crane is so pretty. Okay, so then here's another piece. Side one, side two, and then the last piece. So you're getting 12 by 12, and you're getting 2 pieces of all the designs. So you're getting a total of 12. Okay? All right, so that's the designer paper. Okay, so let's start with our pieces. We got the Evening Evergreen cardstock. This is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and you're going to score it at 2 3/4 and 7. And then when you fold the 2 sides in, it's going to be like a gatefold, but it's going to be kind of like a 3/4 inch gatefold. So it's kind of like off-centered. Isn't that cute? Then we have a piece of basic white. This is cut at 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then a piece of Calypso Coral, which is cut at 3 by 4 1/2. That's going to be for the front. And then our 2 pieces of our Symbols of Fortune designer paper. This piece is cut at 2.5 by 5 1/4. And then this piece is cut at 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay. And then I went ahead, like I showed you earlier, I die cut out the little bunch of flowers there with the die that is coordinating with the stamp set. Isn't that pretty? Love it. All right, so now let me show you here. We're going to stamp first because we're going to do some embossing. So I have a piece of basic white and some Calypso Coral. So I'm going to stamp my greeting first with the Evening Evergreen Classic ink. And the greeting is from the same stamp set, the Crane of Fortune. And we're going to stamp on the basic white first. And then I'm going to clean this. And then we're going to stamp this with the Versamark. And I'm going to use my Simply Chamois with my just tap water on the Simply Chamois and just clean that off really, really good. Okay, so we're going to stamp in the Versamark ink. Remember, this is ink that stays wet a little bit longer, and you can emboss with it. And that's what we're going to do on this Calypso Coral piece. So we're going to stamp the same greeting in the Versamark, and we're going to stamp on the Calypso Coral. Okay, and we're going to take our white embossing powder. Now, our embossing powder comes in two collections. We have the basics, which are white, black, and clear. And then we have the metallics, which you get the copper, gold, and silver, all in one pack. So we're going to use the white, and I'm going to sprinkle this onto the Calypso Coral. Now, even though I'm only using a little part of this greeting, which we're going to cut that, which I'm going to show you that, but I just might as well emboss it all. Okay, so let me go ahead and close up the inks. So now this is our heat tool. This gets really, really hot, so you want to be careful that you don't burn yourself. But I'm going to turn it on for just a couple seconds to get it warmed up, and then we're going to heat set this greeting where it's going to melt that white embossing powder, and it's going to turn glossy. Isn't that pretty? You can't see the gloss, but it's like it's embossed too. Well, it is embossed, but it's raised as well. Okay, so now we're going to grab our paper snips, and we're just going to cut out the part that says 1,000 well wishes. So we're just going to go ahead and hand cut that out, separate the greetings from each other. We're going to separate the sending from that. Just remove those two parts, and then we should be left with 1,000 well wishes, just like that. Then I'm going to go ahead and flag or pennant the end. I've done a few videos on how I pennant the end, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing with this greeting, but in this case, we're going to cut pretty much all of it except for sending. So I'm going to remove like a part of the well wishes, because this is going to be underneath my Calypso Coral piece, so nobody's even going to see that piece. And then I'm going to cut this down just a smidge, a little bit straighter. There we go. Okay, just a little bit straighter. Okay, so then this is going to go on top of the sending, but I needed a little bit of space to put my dimensionals here so it sticks to that. So these are the Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to put 2 onto the Calypso Coral. And then I'm going to center this right underneath that sending, just like that. And then you can trim that down on the edge. And then this is going to get popped up on dimensionals. We're going to put this on the flower right down here once we put our card together. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our designer paper on the Evening Evergreen base, and I'm going to use the liquid glue for that. Gives me a little bit more wiggle room. So we're going to make sure the direction is going correctly on the designer paper. Now the card can be opened on either side, so whatever side you prefer. I want the littler side, this side over here, on the right hand side. But see, you can turn it and have it open up like that too, so it doesn't really matter. But I wanted them all to be the same. I'm going to put this on the 1.5 inch side right there, and then we're going to put this piece over here. This paper is so pretty. This right here. Now our swap that we're doing with my team is a swap with the new J&J mini catalog. So we wanted to get them out in time before the mini catalog started. All right, so now we're going to focus on this piece here. We're going to do a little blending with our blending brushes. So let me grab that. And we're going to use our Calypso Coral Classic ink. And there's not going to be any right way or wrong way to do this blending, because really all you want is to add a splash of color behind the flowers. Can you see that? Hopefully that shows up. So we're just going to ink up our brush. Now these blending brushes come 3 to a pack. So you could use this brush for multiple other colors if you wanted to, but just make sure you take it and you clean it with like a microfiber towel, or you could run it through the water with soap and water, and then you just have to let it air dry. But I find that I can just use this with the Calypso Coral on that. I could stay in that orange family, like with the reds and the pinks. Just as long as I take the towel and rub over it, it should be good. Now, I'm thinking of when I start blending this brush, I'm going to be thinking that I want to start the blending part of it in the center of my piece right here of the basic white, because the big blob of color, which you're going to see, unless I blot it off a little bit here, you're going to want to start in the center and then blend out. So the biggest bunch of color is going to get covered up. And once you do this, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to start in the center and I'm going to blend. See how that got like a little darker there? We have Logan over. Logan, our neighborhood dog. He's like our dog. But that's who clip-clopping through the background. Okay, so I'm just blending that color with the Calypso Coral just along the basic white. I'm just wanting to add a splash of color and then see how this flower kind of covers up that little blob. See? So when you first start sponging, start in the center of your basic white. Okay? So it gets the blunt of the color off of your brush. All right, and then that's it. Then we're going to go ahead and put these two pieces together with the Calypso Coral and the basic white. I'm just going to use my Stamp and Seal. I'm going to layer this onto the Calypso Coral. And then we're going to take our base of our card. Now we're going to put this right in the center, but you can tell it's more over on this side of the 3/4 side. So we're going to put our liquid glue on the back, and you just need a little tiny bit. So let me grab that again. Just going to put a little tiny bit on this edge and then put that in the center. So it will serve like as a closure on this opposite side here. And you might have to take your bone folder and burnish those score lines really nice, so the card stays closed. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to take some more dimensionals and we're going to put 2 of them on the back of my flowers. Remember, we're going to cover up this little blob of ink and nobody will know it's there, I promise. And we're just going to pop that up right there. Then remember our greeting that we embossed. So it says, sending 1,000 well wishes. I definitely condensed the greetings. So the greeting, I condensed it by cutting off that on your special day. So it originally says, sending 1,000 well wishes on your special day. So that could be a wedding, a birthday, an anniversary, really whatever. But sending 1,000 well wishes could be for a get well card or a thinking of you card. So we kind of like substituted and removed that on your special day. So it gave it a totally different look and a totally different greeting. All right, now we're going to add some bling. We're going to add the iridescent rhinestones. These are also brand new in the mini catalog. These are so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love them. So I'm just going to scatter 3 of them, and there's 3 different sizes of these stones. So I'm going to take a couple of the big ones. I'm going to put those 2 up at the top over here, and then I'm going to put a medium one down here. Okay. Oh, so pretty. And then you could also take some Wink of Stella and just kind of touch the white part of the blossoms there. So pretty. Such a beautiful little swap card. And then your basic white for the inside, which I don't put in for my swap cards. But if you wanted to put the basic white piece, that would be 4 by 5 1/4 on the inside. Okay. And that's it. That's my swap card. beautiful. Okay, so let me show you the other ones really quick. Okay, so here are the other ones. We have quite a few swapping this time around. Aren't they pretty? All of them together. I love it. All right. So if you have any questions, please let me know. That's what I'm here for. Also, I'll have all the items listed down below. Then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you like today's video, give me a thumbs up. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.